Okay, welcome everybody again. It is Monday, the 17th of September. Wow, halfway through the September month. Here we go. Wishing. And we're off. Let's try to give it a little bit of time to settle down, see what's going on. I got a Russell buy signal. It doesn't look so bad, but it looks like it might go up to 28, 29, something like that. We're backing off a little bit in the NASDAQ. We're kind of hey diddle diddle stuck in the middle with just about everything. We do have a buy signal on the Dow as well. And for VJ and Pablo, please note that I am on a 4 Yadarenko on the S&P. I want to try that for a little bit today, if you don't mind. NASDAQ's pulling back and the Russell looks like it's trying to go higher. Dow's pulling away from that buy. S&P still in the middle. Let's wait. We're getting a little bit of a bounce in the NASDAQ, and there goes the Russell. Russell looks like she wants to go. What's that? Yep, heading towards 29. Yep, 29.5 is the next swing level above 29.1. That was one of the better setups out of the box that I've seen in a while. But not going to take it. I can't take it anymore. NASDAQ just had us stuck in the middle. Dow trying to grind higher. S&P, we do have a buy signal here at 29.10 half. Keep an eye on that one. And we're pulling back on the Russell. And the Dow. Wow. Let's go a little bit of a breakout in the NASDAQ, maybe. I was looking away when it hit. Doggone it. It was a good setup. And here comes the zigzag pattern and a continuation pattern, maybe. Maybe it's just flip-flopping around, huh? That went up to target one, though. Gave up a partial winner so far.
Order pending.
Nope, nope.
Order canceled.
By the time I could get in there. Russell up near the highs. Dow no. We may still be just slapping around with people trying to trying to roll out their contracts for the prior month, so we could get a lot of activity there. We're down at the lows for the NASDAQ. Russell gave us short. Still in the middle of no man's land, though. We got a continuation lower in the NASDAQ, and I couldn't get over to the sell signal fast enough. Probably a good thing. I was told Wednesday is a Jewish holiday. It's just part of Rosh Hashanah, I suspect. May cause us to have slightly lower volumes. There's target one on the NASDAQ short that I'm not in. Target two. There's target three. Wow, look at it drop. We're at S1 tag on the NASDAQ. Get a little bit of a bounce there in the Russell. And the NASDAQ, see if we go back down to a double bottom or break through that S1. Dow just in the middle, S&P in the middle. There's a short signal on the NASDAQ, but we're in way oversold condition. Russell continues lower, approaching the low of the day. Too late to go short here for me. And there's that bounce off of the swing level that we marked up on the NASDAQ. Coming up on another swing level in the Russell around 22.5. Blew right through that puppy. Now we're getting a little reaction. Let's see what we go here. S&P and the Dow are just in chop. They're trying to decide what to do. They're watching the reaction in the NASDAQ and the Russell. I kind of would have thought that we would have seen weakness in the multinationals more than the tech stocks. So strange. Let's see if the guys step up for a double bottom here at 75.31 on the NASDAQ. Russell still playing with lower. Don't see it having a lot more in it. There's the Dow. Still in the middle along with the S&P. $75.43 in the NASDAQ. Above that, I might look at a long. But it didn't give any indication it wants to get back up there yet. And the Russell still playing down with new lows. S&P looking a little weak. Good morning, RJ. And the NASDAQ poked its head below 31. Dow's trying to put a line in the sand here. Do we remember 161 from last week? Last Friday? In the Dow, 26,161. Still grinding lower on that NASDAQ. And look at that. Russell, give it up. I didn't see any opportunity to get on board on that one, though. We did not get any bounce at all. On the NASDAQ, we got a little bit of a pause there, but not really enough. We're getting a positive reaction in the Dow here. Still in chop though. Let's be patient. We're only 11 minutes into the markets, into trading day. We did have a what was that? See what happens here. We got another short signal in the NASDAQ. Well, at least on mine. On a 6 Unirenco. Trying to get a little bit of a rally going here on NASDAQ. Russell's still going lower. The Dow's given up its rally, and we got a short now in the S&P, especially if we get below 29.05. It's having trouble there. Reiterated the buy on the NASDAQ. Don't see it. We'll see. Too much into chop, especially with the other markets being weak. I could see the NASDAQ just kind of bouncing along here between 75.17 and 75.30. Russell's still lower. Dow's kind of punched a little bit lower, and we haven't seen the S&P give it up yet. If they can't take it lower, they'll try to take it up. If the S&P gets over, the NASDAQ gets over 30.75, it could get a quick 3 or 4. It's got a little stuff off to the left I'm concerned about, though. Still too close to chop for me, even if it works. The momentums show that it should work. There's 31.5. Boom. And a quick pop maybe to 35. Let's see. S&P tried to hold that 29.05 half. The Dow still kind of chopping along. And we got to 34, 75.34 on the NASDAQ. First target was 34 half. There it is. I'm just going to be patient on it. The trend would be higher highs and higher lows. So we got a higher high. Let's see if we make a higher low. Russell's still down at the bottom even though it's bouncing a little bit. And I'm showing right now the 05 half in a very close in, but I see where you're talking about 04. NASDAQ gave it up a little bit. Now we're getting a little bit of a rally in the Russell. Not a lot. Over 182 or 3, we'll get probably a buy signal in the Dow. '84. Still in chop though. See what we got going there. We'll get a signal from CPT at 84, I bet. And we're now getting the zigzag in. Okay, that's a higher low. Now we got to make another higher high in the NASDAQ. I'm on a Unirenko 6 instead of an 8. And yeah, we got another buy signal in the NASDAQ. We're up at S1 and it's reacting to that. Pulling right back. Didn't even make target 1. Dow's not going to make it to 84 this go round, it looks like. S&P pushing down to 05 half. Pretty close. Watch for a potential break there. NASDAQ is in grind mode. The Dow is still in chop. I'd say that the S&P's in chop, but it's really close to this 05. There's 05 half. Okay, we just got a NASDAQ short signal, but we're already way below it. And look at this. We got the Russell flipped to a positive. This is wacko out there, guys. I'd rather sit on the sidelines and miss something to get in some crap. I did that last week, and that wasn't smart. We probably have two things going on. You know, the trade war fears, and then also the vestiges of rolling over contracts. S&P's trying to hold here. Dow's weak. Even if we go below 50, I don't know what it's going to do. There comes the bounce in the NASDAQ. It's just chopping around like crazy. Let's go to the 8. I'd rather get no signal than a false signal. Yeah, I'm still holding that we've got to get up over about 38 to get a long, probably even 41 or 2. Got a short signal in the Dow. Still too close to chop to go short. That S&P's really hugging the lows. Sneak over to the crude. Crude oil's doing nothing. We couldn't trade that one either. There's a possible long. Watch and see what the NASDAQ, if it gets over 36.5. Nah. Chop, 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 chop. Let me show you what it looks like here on a 6-unit Renko and the NASDAQ, how bad it is. See all that chop? Oh my gosh. It's ridiculous. That's the black box displayed around there. I'll let them have at it. We're back down at the lows of the S&P again. Cannot rally. Watch out for that break of, well, probably 06 now. Oh, sorry, 05 now. Oh, there's 550. I feel like I want to go back to bed. There's 525, so kind of poked our nose across the line in the S&P. What if we get below 2605? We could get a little bit of selling. 2905, not 6. NASDAQ going back down to the lows of the day. We have nothing going on here, folks. Well, we got to 0475 in the S&P. Let's see if it gets any follow through down to 2903. It's a grinder. Dow gave another short signal there. Actually, it doesn't look half bad, but we've been down here before. If you look right here, I don't believe those momentum oscillators could be any flatter at all. Well, I guess if the markets weren't open, it could be flatter. NASDAQ rallying off the bottom, still in a trading range. Everybody's in a trading range. I'll assume that meant NQ, not the effing Q. Dave. We're still in a trading range, though, David. Well, Dave. Sorry. Uh, okay. We're still in that trading range, the greater trading range in all the indices. There's a short in the Nasdaq, but it's would have to be a scalp. Like for me, I mean it's not playing that game. Now the S&P keeps hugging this 05. There's a magnet for that one. Nasdaq, let's see if it gets down to 75.19 ish. There it is, and lower. And we're starting to look lower in the S&P. It's inching lower. Russell, how's your Apple now? Did the shine come off the Apple? That was a full winner in the Nasdaq that I passed up. The only problem with all of these is that you get a long here, partial winner. Long here, stop out. Short here, stop out. Short here, winner. Overall, probably a push at best. Might be better off to just sit. See if it does a double bottom here at 12 on the Nasdaq. Russell's back down to 18 again, and it looks like it's trying to poke its nose to the other side. We'll see if it does a double bottom or not. I'd lean towards a double bottom on those, primarily because the Nasdaq's already shown its propensity. Well, I know how we can break out of this, guys. I'm going to step aside for just a minute. I'll be right back. And when I get back, I'm sure something will happen. What are you fussing for, guys? Hi, Henry. Hi, baby. Hi, dear Henry. Oh, you're not baby. Were you whining at the front door? Was that the garbage man? Huh? Stay. Lilo, come on. Okay, thank you. Come on. Thank you. Oh, move, Stitch, damn it. Okay. I'm back and you didn't let anything, nothing happened. Oh, we're going lower. Oh, no. S&P has no conviction. Look at that Dow. A little bit of a rally. So S&P is weak. The Dow is rally within trading range. NASDAQ keeps making lower lows and then bouncing. And the Russell keeps trying to bounce off the 17, 18 level. Let's see what happens here. Thanks, David H. Dow's back up to the primary pivot.
Order pending.
See if we can get a rally in the Dow.
Order filled.
All right. It's got this swing level over here, but looking at the momentums, Our squeeze is flat, but you know, we're battling this level. Thinking about pulling the target one below 26.2. All right, our momentum oscillator is pointing up, and then the R squeeze is starting to get a little positive now. Get going. Push. There's 91. Need to be patient if I can.
Target filled.
Okay, I've got the first target. Playing with house money at the moment. Would have gotten 16 if I'd have been a little patient, but I didn't like what I was seeing, you know. A break even plus on this one. See if it goes higher or not. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Let's see what that S&P's doing. S&P going nowhere. The Dow's on its own. That's the reason why it's gonna. And we're right at that round number 26,200. I wanted to be on the other side of that. Get a little extended on these momentum.
Order filled.
I'm going to go ahead and kill it and take 135 and say I'm happy. All right. If it works more, so be it, but I'm not going to be in it. Just don't get a good feeling that the other markets aren't following suit. So, yeah. I agree. No energy for me to get a target one and a bit is, especially with now the Russell's making new day lows. We'll see. Only time will tell whether I dove out prematurely. I did not have a sell signal. I just didn't like where I was at, and I figured I was going to take what I had. Possibility is before I get a sell signal, it'll come all the way back to where my entry was, pretty close. And with the S&P being weak, that usually is a drag on the Dow. There it is. Now the trailing volatility stops at 185 on the Dow. You see that here with this lime-colored label. I was about ready to say, has anybody been stupid enough to take a trade other than me? Has anybody been brave enough or brazen enough braven and brazen? Just tell you what I saw, that and I'm still seeing that the Dow is the strongest index we've got out there. Let's take a look again. Look at the big picture while we got time. Crude oil up 60 cents, still in a trading range. Gold, still in a trading range. S&P down 7.5. Up, there's a dog bark. NASDAQ, see how it's weak it is and pulling off. Russell, down 13, pretty weak. And then we look at the Dow's up 7. Go figure. Oh, and the VIX, it's up 63 cents to 12.70. Yeah, that Dow would have come and taken me out. Unless I held on to the filled at 85. And right down to the stop. The volatility stop is right at 185. There's no way I could have had the intestinal fortitude to hold that one, though. Yeah, I think that the NAS looks like 75, 11, or 12. But then we've got all that crud over to the left until we get to 18 or 19. Yep. Would like to see a poke up towards 12 and then some sort of zigzag or maybe a continuation pattern. Let's battling with that 12. There's some big numbers popping up on NASDAQ. I saw a couple of times 120 contracts offered at 11 and a half. Those are probably FACOs. There we go, a little mini breakout. Let's see if it pulls back to the 11 or 12 level. Do a little bit of a zigzag here. There's 12. There's 11. You know what? If we get up over
Order
15,
pending.
that will be a continuation pattern. I've got a long in at 1500. Probably ought to be on the other side of 15 there. And it's backing off. No longer a continuation pattern. It would just be a consolidation breakout, possibly. Russell's weak. This is pushing it a little bit, Steve. Our squeeze is pointing up. Momentum is pointing up. We haven't had a whole lot of momentum though today. Not so much mojo. If we get below 75.11, I'm out. Sorry, 75.10. I'm canceling the trade. There it is.
Order canceled.
You know, that Dow long we have over there still has not stopped out. $75.19 is still the biggie number in the NASDAQ. Coming up on 10:30. NASDAQ backed off from that number. Now we're getting a short signal. Possibly. Would love to see a push down, say to 04 or so, and then a bounce. Just getting the bounce here, though. Too early. There goes the Dow again. It's a continuation pattern right here. Let's see if it actually follows through. The S&P's helping it now. Long. $206. Well, doesn't make it easy to do a level horizontal line at all. The momentum oscillator and the R squeeze are a little bit too extended here in the Dow for today. Yeah, the NQ's very trying. We do have another buy signal right here at 1275. The momentum and R squeeze are not cooperative though. And the trend line's pointing down. Suck those people in long that are anticipating it. We're still in a trading range of sorts. $10.27. Continuation pattern has not failed on the Dow, but it's not really working either. That S&P's really hanging around 2905 like it was a security blanket. And looks like now the NASDAQ short under 25.
Order pending.
0450. That'll break the double bottom stuff. And I'm looking for at least a target one. Glad to see that reaction right there, because it'll either bounce from here or it'll go down lower. Yeah, Captain Obvious. Russell's going lower. Dow's pulled back that Dow continuation pattern has failed now. If we get above 75.10, I need to cancel this puppy. Yep.
Order filled.
All right.
Order canceled.
I bought one at 10.
Stop filled.
Out of all that, I got a whole $10 because it bounced on me. Sorry, I didn't see that. You were covered up. Pablo. Yeah, because I found that the 8 seems to be working lately. We're getting lots of squirrely bounces. The 10s. All right, let's do this. Did that last week, Carlos. We were in 10s. 10 showing no trades at all. 6 was way, way, way too sensitive. I was getting longs and short, long, short, long, short, long, short. And I was trying to get in the middle of it. And I'm actually playing with fire if I look at it. The 8 was basically starting to work. And the markets don't stay the same all the time. The markets are constantly evolving. Now, whether it's actually the black boxes or humans changing their minds or what, I don't know. I don't care. And I just constantly going from, a low number to a high number. And then I saw that the 6 was too fast. The 10 was too slow. Well, let's try an 8 in the middle and see what happens. And it seemed to work pretty well. So I've been bouncing. I've got one over here on the side that's on a 6, but I can bounce it between 6 and 10 and not bother you. But if we go back to a 10, we're going to find out trading range. So we get up over here around 1475. And I can see that pretty much in the 8 as well. But it really, really, really shows up on a 10. So, yeah, I was hoping that my trade would get down and get towards the bottom here around 74.98. That was all I was looking for. And I took 10 or so on the downside, and then it bounced up on me too fast to really break even. Now the Counterpunch Trader system is still short. Just. Russell's new day low. The S&P's hugging at 2905. I'm not going to push it anymore. We're at 1035. It looks like the NAS will be short below 7501. It's sitting right on top of a round number, 7,500. The 6 Unarenco's got a short on the NASDAQ. Probably don't buy it. Don't believe it, I should say. Yeah. And it's not tradable. It's going lower, but short of holding your nose, there was a short signal there on the 6. I have one about 19. Yeah, right here. And it went to a full target 3 and then some. It's still trailing. The trailer is not to target 3 yet. But the squeeze number wasn't wasn't all that good, and the R squeeze was okay, and the momentum oscillator was just kind of not helping. Needed to be closer to the zero line. All right, the S&P's hugging this 2904 to the downside. And the Dow's trying to hug this 2605 to the upside. Go figure. Oops, that came in the wrong place. Well, that Dow's still flirting with '05. If anything's going to be along today, it looks like it might be the Dow. That said, the NASDAQ over 15. Have some room. Let's squeeze that up a little bit. There's 14, 15 up, and then there's about 19, and then 30. Dow's at 08 again. The momentum and R squeeze are extended on the Dow, but they can stay that way. Go away. breakout in the Dow's happening. Here we go. S&P's not really being supportive, but at least it's not being hindering either. And the Dow's failing that breakout. Not that it's tradable, but watch for the NASDAQ to break 7,500 to the downside. I got a short signal in the Russell now. Just filled. I'm not long, I'm not short. I'm just saying that the CPT system would have been filled. And one thing we should do when we're in chop, make it prove that it's going to go in our direction. You may want to actually back out on time frames. So instead of being at a 6 or an 8, you may want to go to a 10 and say, you know what, until it breaks the major levels, I just can't believe this. Dow's trying to rally. Remember, it was the strongest on Friday. Thanks, Mr. Dave T. I think we've got a lot of cross currents going on out there in the markets. That usually is not conducive to easy trades anyway. All right, 10:45. I've only got another 15 minutes, my time of useful consciousness here today. I have to do some preparations for tomorrow. I will be back this afternoon. I may just lick my wounds and go back to my cave. Dow rally is just not happening. S&P just can't get up off the mat. Nor can the Russell. The Russell's even worse. That short in the Russell's way too tiny. There's 7,500 in the NASDAQ. Is it going to go through? We're getting a reaction off of it. Is it my imagination or the market's going really, really slow today? Real slow. The volumes aren't terribly low. They're not terribly high either. ES might be a little low. And the Nasdaq looks like it's low. Yeah, a lot of chop, but but usually chop will happen. You know, a lot of times chop will happen within a range. Look at what's to do with the Nasdaq here. This is tight. Look what the S&P is doing. Nothing. And this is, we're talking an hour and a half almost into the market, and we formed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're on the 11th candle. I gotta go recycle some coffee, and I'll be right back, folks. Too much information, huh? Stitcheroo? I didn't know you were in here, Pumpkins. Yeah, good boy. Ready to take a wee wee. Well, I step away and look at the NASDAQ drop. Uh, 10:47 rally time. Well, not exactly in the NASDAQ. Pablo, that was reverse on that one. No, no dog barking today. See the S&P failing here? We stuck around that 2905 level for so darn long. That was not, that's, if it sticks around there, a level, at some point it's liable to fail. It's just chewing through the support. Coming up on 11 o'clock. Well, that was our, Pablo, that was our 10:30 rally. Unfortunately, it was a rally to the downside. The NASDAQ 10 Unirenco got two continuation patterns here. One of them really worked, the other one didn't really much. Let's see. It's sucking you in, Pablo. How do you know when it's changed? What do we talk about? You gotta wait for it. It's gotta prove it. Higher highs and higher lows. Right now, all they've managed to do is kind of level off and tease you, suck you into the longs, and then rip your head off. All right, now I got a CPT long signal in the Russell. And it's coming right back. We want a zigzag pattern right around that level. And if it gets over 1714, it will be a continuation pattern. Now, do we want to take it? It looks like it could rally potentially up to around 1716. The momentum and our squeeze are both favorable. So if you want to take it right now, we have made a higher high and a higher low if we break out. And if we break out, we'll make multiples of that. Having trouble. Having trouble. NASDAQ bad, daddling that 1714 level. Sorry, Russell is. But the momentum in our squeeze says it goes through to about 16. That'd be 20 ticks. All right. Just make sure you got good targets and good stops. You're up at least 9 ticks now. Because we've been getting less follow through, I would be using slightly less targets, a little bit less generous. So maybe a 17, 15, 8, something like that. That'd be 18 ticks. All right, there's 10 ticks. You're welcome, sir. That's just what I do. I mean, you may want to consider it. See there, anywhere 10 to 12 would be acceptable. There's 12, 13, 14. I do think it gets up to that peach level, but it's going to be a grinder. There's 15.8. Target 1. And target 2 could be probably below S1. Target 3 on CPT is 17.8. And that pretty much matches with the stuff over here to the left. If it gets there. I'd make sure my stop was break even plus at something. It could fail. It could pull back at any moment now. But we haven't got a sell signal yet. I'd get a sell signal below 17.15 though. I'd be moving my stop up to 14.9 because if it comes back down to 15 and goes below it. You're out? Totally? Okay. All right, we'll walk this one up though. I still think we've got a good chance to hit 17.8, but I would make sure my stop was somewhere around 14.8. So basically trailing the candles, and then trying to get on the other side of a round number. Got a potential J hook going on in the NASDAQ, or a continuation to the downside, according to however it plays out. The Russell, this level over here, we're battling with. If it gets over 16.8, you do a little bit of a run to probably this 18. And my target was 17.8. The green line. Now we can move that stop up to just under the low of the candle we're on. It's really a tight stop, but hey, that's what it is today. Trying to give it a little bit of room, but you can't give it forever. We're getting to the top of that thing over left 16.8. Right here. So get over 17.17 and we'll run to our target. That pretty much matches target 3 right there. Come on, 17. There's 9. There's 17. Come on. Push it. 17 to 1. Somebody bid 2. Come on. Somebody get 2. There's 4. We actually got to... I think there was an 8 in there somewhere. Showing it tagging the number, but if you had market if touched, you're probably out at 17.7 or 17.6, something like that. See how these levels work? And following the momentums? I love it. I should have been long that one. It would have been a target 3 winner for me. Could have had a real power of quitting. Got a long in the NASDAQ now, but it's right up into that congestion. There's the full target. And see if it goes any further. I'm going to minimize it so we can watch the other markets. A little bit of a rally in the S&P and the Dow. That's 40 ticks right there. In a Russell. That was the target. I was making sure that I was able to see these levels over here to the left. It just happened to go right to where Counterpunch Trader had his target 3. So that when I bounced back and forth from chart to chart, it would say, oh, yeah, that's the target. Stop. And this was still raising up. I'm saying basically this stops right about there. You're welcome, Bill. I've been told that those aren't the friendliest dogs in the world. There's 18.2, that's 42 ticks. Oh yeah, they are. They're friendly to their owners and the people they know. Just strangers they're a little dubious of, and I'm not totally surprised or nothing against them. Okay. All right. We've had our run this morning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these up. We're on many 6, 6, 10, and 4. All right. I'm going to